Good Erev Shabbos to all the wonderful members of the Sheffield Jewish community. Since unfortunately we cannot be in shul, at least so it seems, on this Friday afternoon, I thought at least I'd send a little message out to you all, wishing you, number one, a very good Shabbos, and number two, a very healthy Shabbos. And do take care, watch out for all the instructions as the government has indicated. Keep washing your hands and stay away from crowds and people. This is the unfortunate reason why we have had to close the shul, but not for long. I'm believing in the hope that, as the verse says at the end of the book of Deuteronomy, Machatzti vani erpa, the Eibishter is the one that causes illnesses in the first place, and I'm the one, he says, who will heal you all. So we ask the good Lord to put that into practice and to bring his healing so that we can get back to our lives and return to the way things were, hopefully in a better situation than they are at present. That Pasuk of Machatzti vani erpa starts off with a reference to the coming of Mashiach. So it's very likely Mashiach will come sometime this afternoon and we will be back in shul healed and healthy tomorrow. However, in the off chance that he doesn't come, I've sort of got a few things together to tell you about this Shabbos. Firstly, tonight Mincha and Erev should be as usual. And we begin the marriage service with Yedi Hidne Efesh Avarachaman Meshay Chavdecha Eretzoinecha Yarutz Avdecha Kema Hayahayal Yishtachavel Mol Hadarecha Yeravloi Yedidai Secha Mina Haifesuf Vecha. And we will go into the Lechuna Ranana. Then the Kadma Fana Besaida Bizri Raisnari Alai. And we will get to the Lechada Dili Kras Kala Penei Shabbos the Kabla, which is of course one of the Sheffield unique tunes. After that, we make Kiddush and have our Friday night meal. Tomorrow morning, if Mashiach comes, then please God, we'll see everyone in shul as usual, and Edwin will come with little Chai Miriam and put up the notices and the signs, and we'll daven Shachris. We'll be taking out 2 Sefer Torahs tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem. One is for the regular reading of the book of Exodus, which we are about to finish. And the second will be from an earlier reading in Exodus, which is known as Parshas Kodesh. So the first reading of the Torah will be from the beginning of Parshas Vayakhel, that starts off at chapter 25 and goes through that Sedra Vayakhel and the following one, Pekudei, because it's 2 Sedras together, until it finishes off at the end of Pekudei, and that is the end of the book of Exodus. And at that point we will say Chazak, Chazak. The content of these Sedras is more or less a repetition of Sedras we had 3 and 2 weeks ago, which were Truma and Tetzaveh. And they were the Sedras in which God gives his instruction to Moshe, and subsequently Moshe gives it to the children of Israel, to raise the funds, the materials necessary to build a tabernacle, a little home for the presence of God. And those Sedras were in the future tense. Thou shalt make, thou shalt create, thou shalt forge, and so on. These Sedras are all the same, but in the past tense. And they made, and they forged, and they put together, and so on, and built. You will notice a reverse order in that the first things mentioned in the Parshas of Truma and Tetzaveh to make were the contents of the tabernacle, the furniture. The people who put in charge, namely the 2 leaders, one was called Betzalel ben Uri ben Hur, Bezalel, and the second was known as Eliav ben Achisamach. And these 2, particularly Betzalel, who was only 13 years at the time, but he was a genius. And he said immediately, how can you talk about making furniture if you haven't got a building in which to put it. So first, let's construct the building, and then we'll make the furniture. So he creates everything with his team of professionals in the reverse order as he was instructed. Moshe didn't apologize for doing that. He said, I went straight to the most important thing, which is the Ark of the Covenant, because that is the whole center around which the tabernacle is built. So these two sedras would be read together, which means you'd have double portions. When we get to the end of that, the person who normally gets the last aliyah would be, that's called chazak. When we read the final verse, which I will do now, we will finish off with the words chazak, chazak, v'nis chazek. Ki anan Adonai al hamishkon yemam v'yesh tiyeh layla boy le'nei kol veis Yisrael v'chol maseihem chazak chazak v'nis chazek, which means be strong, and we will collectively be stronger. A very good sentence with which to end the reading of the first Sefer Torah. Then we normally put the second Sefer Torah on the reading desk, on the bimah, and say a heart of Kodesh over both of them. And then we do Hag B'Glid on the first Sefer Torah, and then we begin on the second Sefer Torah. And that is the Parshas HaChodesh, the fourth in a series of 4 extra readings that we have at this time of year, which discusses in particular the creating of a calendar. We were the first people to have a proper structured calendar based on the moon, because the moon waxes and wanes. Sometimes it's bigger and sometimes it's smaller, and in a sense we the Jewish people are like that. Sometimes we have better moments and sometimes we have not such good moments, and the light we receive is not our own, it comes from the sun. In other words, we the Jews reflect the Almighty's light, and this portion comes from the Sedra of Boy, which is the third in the book of Exodus. So it's basically turning back the pages, and it begins chapter 12 verse 1, and it will go all the way to the let me just see how many verses it finishes off, and finishes off at the end of verse 25. Just let me check that I got that. Sorry, verse 20. So that's what we would read from the second Sefer Torah. Then the Haggadah didn't put that down. The Haftarah is not the regular Haftarah, it's one which matches the Parshas HaChodesh. And you can find this all in the back of your books, depending on what kind of Chumash you might have to hand. It is also Shabbat Mevarachim. So we expect the ladies to be on hand, or the men, from the guild, to prepare the nice big bumper kiddush to celebrate our return to the shul, and that will be for the month of Nisan. So we are blessing the month of Nisan, and that will fall out to this year. Rosh Chodesh is going to be on the Thursday, and the cycle of the new moon will begin on Tuesday, 10 o'clock in the morning, 14 minutes and 11 chalakim, which is equivalent to 33 2/3 seconds. And I expect Marvin to add in local Jerusalem time. After that we'd have a Musaf, and then we go and we have Kiddush, then we come back, we do Mincha, and everything continues as normal on Shabbos. A short thought about this week's Sedra. Vayakhel means, and he created a kehillah. He gathered people together. That's not what we're doing at this Shabbos. Pekudei means the counting, the individuals. A community is made up of individuals. It only happens when we all get together. This Shabbos, you're going to create your own community by just being an individual. There was the son of the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Chabad Rebbe, who was one of the sons. He had quite a few, and a shidduch was suggested with another very auspicious family. The father-in-law to be agreed to the shidduch on one condition. He says, I know you Lubavitchers, you daven at all times of the day. I want you to daven with a minyan. So he agreed. He'd take the hand of this lady in marriage on condition that he would daven with a minyan. Anyhow, they got married, and sometime later the father-in-law happens to catch his new son-in-law davening on his own, not with a minyan. So he went up to him and he said, as every good father-in-law does in a very nice way, he says, I thought we made an agreement that you were going to daven with a minyan. And the son-in-law said, I am. So the father-in-law says, Shul is empty. He says, no, minyan means a number usually of 10. Every Jew has 10 qualities of the soul. I am davening with my entire minyan of qualities. So I'm keeping my word in a different way to the way you understood. So that's the minyan that you have, because every Jew has a minyan and a conglomeration of 10 different qualities of the mind and the heart, which constitutes your nefesh, your neshama, your soul. And you can daven with all 10 of those, and the good Lord will accept that as a minyan, because it is his fault that we are in this situation, and it is his duty to clear it up. We clearly can't do that, because it is beyond our control. The best we can do is steer clear of it, but we don't know how and why and what and so on. And I don't know why these things happen, because no person should ever know or suggest reasons why things like this happen. But it's happened, and so we're going to deal with it, and we're not going to bury ourselves in depression. We're going to be upbeat and make the most of the situation and see how we can deal with the challenge as it confronts us and make the most out of it. So there you go. Let's see what kind of a Yiddishkeit, what kind of a tabernacle you can create at home. And remember, at the initial outset, when the Almighty said, build me a tabernacle, as I've said many times, he said, V'yosel li mikdash v'shachanti b'seicham. Make for me a tabernacle, and I will dwell in them. Not just the one that was built in the desert, but a tabernacle that every one of you creates in your own home. Never was that more potent than today, where hundreds of thousands of people all over the world are creating little tabernacles in their own home. I wish you a very good Shabbos and all the best, and keep safe and keep healthy. Good Shabbos.